This is Blues View. Coming up, Colin Tatton gives us his big match verdict, Alex McLeish on reaching the 40-point mark, and Andy Walker looks ahead to the game at Portsmouth. Hello and welcome to Blues View. I'm Paul Bradley. Colin Tatton can't join us today, but instead I'm joined by Andy Walker. Hi Andy.
Hi Paul.
As I said, Colin Tatton can't join us today, but we do have him on the phone for his big match verdict. Hi Colin, hope you can hear us. First of all, just give us your verdict on the game at the weekend.
It was one that they needed to get to that sort of landmark 40-point mark, which, let's face it, has now secured their Premier League status. It was pretty nip and tuck in the first half, but then Birmingham began to exact control, scored the goal on the stroke of half-time, and then second half Wigan came at Birmingham, which they had to do, obviously, and Birmingham again rode the luck a little bit, but they held firm and thoroughly deserved the 3 points.
Sure, and what about that penalty? That caused quite a lot of controversy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as Alex McLeish said, that Mario Melchiot, if you go and commit yourself to a tackle and stick your leg out when the ball's free in the box like that, then there's always a risk. Keith Fahey probably did go down a little bit too easily, and the contact, if there was contact, was minimal at best. But these are the things that games are decided on, and that went in Birmingham's favour. And you know, as we said there, it was a pretty silly thing for Mario Melchiot to do, to commit himself in such a manner in such a position in the area, especially when Keith Fahey was actually running outside the 18-yard box.
Well, thanks for that, Colin, and we'll speak to you again next week. Before we hear from Andy and a look ahead to the FA Cup game, we've also had a quick interview with Alex McLeish, and here's what he had to say.
We were made to work hard for it today, but a good win nonetheless.
Good one. That was a good one. It was understandably a little bit anxious second half when you don't get the second goal to put them away. I think, truth be told, we could have been 3 up certain stages of the game. Scott Dan had a couple of headers, I think maybe 3. James McFadden unlucky across the near post where we would want your striker to be for a ball coming in. Ridgewell put a great ball across, and Cameron in a pullback never got a chance to pull the trigger. So I would have been aggrieved if we had gone in at half time 0-0. But you know what, fortunate in the penalty from the point of view of Keith going out of the box and Melchiot maybe making a needless challenge, but we'll take it anyway.
Well, that was Alex McLeish. Now, Andy, Portsmouth have been having a lot of trouble off the pitch recently, but their form on the pitch hasn't been too bad. It's going to be a tricky tie for Blues at the weekend.
It certainly will do, and I think Alex McLeish has moved quick to already highlight the fact that they're going down there to face some very dangerous opposition. They beat Burnley, obviously, on the weekend, which, given the week's news previously leading up to that, comes as a bit of a surprise to some, and I think some national pundits even dubbed it the most pointless 3 points of the season. That said, the league is pretty much pointless to them because they are virtually down. So their only real kind of area to unleash that frustration, I hope that they can actually achieve something this season, is in the FA Cup. So I think some Blues fans are also actually presuming that they, like Villa, will enjoy a trip to Wembley this week, are getting a bit ahead of themselves, to be honest.
As you say, it's very important now, isn't it, the FA Cup to the fans? Just how important is it in the Blues camp at the moment? What's the feeling there?
Very important, I think. I think really they go hand in hand, the momentum do. I mean, the kind of league campaign had looked at tailed off slightly before the win at Wigan, which was a big boost. And now it's always, with the FA Cup for all teams, I mean, certainly when you get to these latter stages, it's a welcome break, if anything. And they know, they could potentially, as I said, book a trip to Wembley and even go all the way to the final, which, I mean, given the season so far, I mean, that would just be an even kind of bigger cherry on top.
Thanks, Andy. Now, well, of course, we've got some questions from the viewers, and first of all, we'll kick off from Brian from Kings Norton, who's asked about the Ridgewell horror tackle at the weekend, Andy. He was lucky to stay on the pitch, wasn't he?
In my opinion, he was. I think it was a crazy challenge, really, to be honest, if you look at it. I don't know really what he was thinking going in there. Fortunately for him, he didn't get a red card. I see yesterday one national radio station was having a poll, which was the worst tackle of the weekend. Was it Ridgewell? Was it Ryan Shawcross on Aaron Ramsey? Or was it Michael Ballack in the Chelsea-Man City game? And Ridgewell come out something like at 80% with the votes. So, I mean, that was a general feeling from a national point of view. I have had it confirmed that he's not going to face any punishment from the FA, so he has got away with that region. But it certainly was a bit of a shocker, to be honest, and I think the linesman felt it as well.
Sure, he's a lucky boy to stay on then. We've had some more questions. A bit of a tongue-in-cheek one here, I think, from Bordsley Blue, who's asked Bowyer, should he be getting in the England squad?
Well, I think that's maybe a bit too far ahead of him at this stage of his career. But I mean, you say they're tongue-in-cheek, but the fact that people are, remotely linking him to England just goes to show how impressive he has been this season.
Let's join us, stay, Andy. Well, we'll be back next week to reflect on the FA Cup and League double header at Fratton Park. We'll see you then. Goodbye.